Welcome to the Dynasty Dads Podcast. Football, rankings, debates, dad stuff with your host, Justin Williams and Matt Renshaw.
And welcome everyone to the Week 15 edition of the Dynasty Dads Podcast. I am your host, often imitated, but never duplicated, the one, the only, down since day one, Justin Williams. And with me, as always, my good friend, Matt Renshaw. Matt, man, you got to be happy that I'm back.
Who else is imitating you? I only imitated you because I had to imitate you.
Yeah, I heard your attempt last week to open the show.
I can roll. The R's can roll off this tongue.
It's not that you can do it. It just doesn't have the I don't know what the word is. There's just the magic.
The magic.
When I roll my R's, Matt, there's magic.
I didn't sound like the Prius driving by the show and welcome.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I listened to the show last week, and man, I think I speak for everybody when I say, boy, you're welcome.
Oh, get out of here.
You're welcome, because it's clear who carries this show.
Whoa, my back hurts from this all year.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's deep, man. You got your boots on, don't you? Trying to toot your own horn.
Toot, toot.
You want me to move so I can give your head some more room?
No, but I must say that a special shout out to Gabe. He did his best, and he sounded very great.
Gabe, thanks for helping out.
In Gabe's defense, he was in a really poor position because, I mean, you know, I'm usually the guy that does all the legwork. I get everything set up for you. You just show up, you plug in, and you just run your mouth and say stupid stuff.
That is not true.
And, you know, Gabe just wasn't used to that.
I don't know if you have ever done a show without me.
You know what? I'd be more than happy to do a show daily. I could do a daily show.
Oh, get out of here.
I could just talk for about, 15 minutes.
And the downloads would not be where they are right now.
Through the roof.
Not even close.
You know how many people I run into, Matt, that tell me they just skip past any time you talk? They hit the skip button, they scrub, and they go and they try to find my beautiful voice?
Zero.
Oh, a ton.
Zero. You know how many people reach out to me and said, hey, good job. Way to do the show without Justin. We know that you carry the show.
Literally no one did
I will show you the messages.
No one did it.
I've got Twitter messages. I've got text messages.
Sure.
The people have spoken.
Sure. So, Matt.
I think you need to start.
I was in Disney World.
I know that.
I really wanted to be here. I told my wife, I have to do the podcast. I have so many listeners. Matt needs me, and she said, no, you're going to go to Disney World. And I was like, fine. I guess I'll go.
Have you looked at the downloads from last week's episode? We're up downloads because I carried it.
Right. So I'm in Disney World.
Yeah.
And
you sound so disappointed that you were in Disney World.
No, I'm not disappointed. It was a great time. That is just a magical place. It's just there's so many stories to tell. I don't even know where to start, and I don't want to bore everybody with it because it's like, if you're not there, you don't really care.
Happiest place on earth?
It was pretty damn close. We were there for 5 days.
Okay.
We went to every park. There's 4 parks. Went there to every park from like morning to night.
Isn't there more than 4 parks?
No, there's 4 parks in Disney World.
There was 8.
No.
Okay.
There's don't
Go
test.
ahead.
I was just there.
I thought there were more than 4.
The Animal Kingdom, the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and what's it called? The one with the Star Wars and all that other fun stuff. Indiana Jones.
You were just there.
Was it?
You should know.
It's not Universal Studios, but
no, it's not Universal.
No. It's
Universal and Disney are completely
It's something
different.
close. It's the one with the Star Wars stuff at. It was really cool. That was probably one of my favorites. But anyways, the entire time we're there, not a single. You couldn't find anybody arguing.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't hit me until I left. You couldn't find a single person upset with another individual.
Weird. Really? Like nobody stole a parking spot or.
You can't walk through Target for like a half hour without hearing somebody get mad at someone else.
Yeah.
Next time you're at Target, try it. You can't go anywhere without hearing somebody argue with somebody. I found that one place.
Hollywood Studios is the 4th one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a really crazy experience. And I also learned that if you get people in the right situation, they will pay anything for something that they need.
That they need? Oh, yeah.
Or that they feel they need.
Yeah. Food.
So
water.
we're on day 4
Yep.
of our trip, and we're at the park, and we're walking through, and it's the afternoon. It's kind of a snack time for baby because we took the baby.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, let's get her something because I didn't want to feed her the same snacks that we've been bringing every day.
Right.
And so we tried to balance it out as much as we could, and we did a really good job. But we're walking by. As soon as I say that, I look at this cart. This cart has bananas.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa.
Perfect.
You never see fruit at this place.
Right.
You know? So I'm like, let's get her a banana. She likes nanners.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah. That's how I learned how to
So I
spell it.
walk up and I say, hey, give me one of those bananas,
Can I guess?
guy.
Can I guess?
Yeah. He hands me the banana. He says, here's your total. What do you think it was?
Okay, so normally bananas are like 68 cents a pound.
Yeah. I got one banana.
My guess is $4.
$2.50.
Oh, okay, so not.
And I was like, at the time, I was like, $2.50. I would have paid $5.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you would have, because it's like I'm not gonna leave to go get a banana,
Right.
And I don't want to feed her the same stuff that she had this
Yeah.
morning or yesterday. So it's like, yeah, I would have paid $5 for a banana.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was $10 beer week all week, stadium prices, great.
Do they sell beer in Disney World?
They sell beer in Disney World.
Oh.
That's what helped a lot,
Wow.
a lot. It didn't used to be that way.
I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's all different now.
Huh. Well, they
So-
sell like butter beer in the Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, this is like legit beer,
Oh.
like yeah, Bud
Wow.
Light, all that fun stuff.
But that's Universal. That's not Disney, so. Harry Potter is in Universal.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know. So yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, the kids met all the characters, had a great time. The rides were great. The technology is just amazing,
Yeah.
just amazing.
Did you go do the President Hall one?
We walked in and we were just incredibly bored. We left. That's a true story. That was the
You
one
didn't see
ride,
automated
not ride,
Trump or whatever?
Is that what's behind
There's
the doors?
one in there now. Yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't even get past that because the guy that started talking was just so monotone and
Yeah.
boring that I was like, nah.
Nah, we out.
Yeah, we out. I was like, let's go kill some brain cells and watch Star Wars for the 5th time or something.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was great though. It was a hell of a time. I highly recommend it if you're blessed enough to be able to do it. It was crazy expensive, way more money than it should have been.
Yeah,
but
it's a memory.
It's
Well,
definitely
that your 8-year-old will have. I don't know if.
it's definitely it's a memory that we'll all have.
Will the
it's-
baby remember it?
No, the baby won't remember it, but it's definitely a memory that we'll all have, and the pictures are there.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, people like when bad stuff happens to me. So Emily and we had to hold the baby on the way back.
On the plane?
On the plane.
Okay.
And my poor wife, she's holding the baby. We are literally taking off.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And Carly decides just to lose her lunch all over Emily. Now, it came on me too, but it's mostly on Emily.
Right.
So Emily takes her baby blanket and she's trying to clean it up the best we can, but you can't do nothing
Right,
at that
you're
time.
sitting real
You're just
tight
stuck.
and-
yeah,
yep.
and she's the window seat.
And you're taking off, so you can't
do nothing.
You can't move. Right.
So baby throws up all over the place. Emily's cleaning it up, and in this chaos of being vomited on, you're flying, taking off is the worst part.
Right.
She's not really thinking straight. She puts her phone in the blanket because she's trying to clean it up, get it out of the way, and then she puts the blanket underneath the seat in front of her because it's there's nothing you can do.
Right.
We get off the plane, we don't even think about it. So she lost her phone, and we have a whole nother flight. We're in New York for our layover. Yeah, don't ask me how.
That's weird.
Don't ask me how.
Flew up to New York to fly over to Omaha?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we end up losing her phone. We get her a new phone the next day. Thankfully, the cloud is magic, so she has all of her pictures because she was a wreck over.
Oh, I bet.
She thought she lost all of her pictures. So we got all that stuff back. Everyone's happy. Everyone's safe. The baby's sick, of course, because she was surrounded by Floridians. Floridians. Thank you.
I'm like, Floridians? What is?
Floridians.
Yeah.
It's a new movie.
Oh.
Oh, so Matt, my week was much better than yours. But what happened with you?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know if anything tops Disney World.
I tried to let you go first.
You did. I should have taken it. My oldest is making up songs now. I'll sing and put words in the songs that shouldn't be there, put her name and stuff. And
Yeah.
she's starting to do that back now. The other day we're in the store and she started singing, "I have to go potty."
Nice.
And I'm like, I'm rubbing off on her.
Yep.
I got it. So she makes up songs and whatnot. My youngest is pretty well potty trained now. So that's always easier. Yeah. Yeah, it's my anniversary this week.
Hey.
Yeah. Actually, tomorrow.
How many years?
This will be 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting up there.
That's right.
Getting up there.
I mean, it's not 30,
No.
but it's 4. Yeah. The anniversary's tomorrow, so that'll be fun. A nice week for us.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So, as a reminder, this is the Dynasty Dads podcast. We talk football eventually. You can find us on Twitter. That's probably the best place to contact us. We're at Dynasty Dads. Matt is on there at least 18 times a day.
Yeah, that's a low estimate.
Yeah, and be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us there at the Dynasty Dads. So, Matt, we got a little bit of news. Not a lot.
There's some.
But we got a little bit.
Getting
And
late in the year.
It's a big week. It's week 15.
Playoff week.
Everyone should be in your playoffs. And if you're not, I don't understand what you're doing.
What league?
Right.
Not everyone makes the playoffs, but your league should be in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what that's like, right?
Oh, hey.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So in my 13 leagues, I'm only in the playoffs for 3 of them.
Ouch.
It hurts so bad. And I would have been in the playoffs for like 6, but I completely was so busy with Disney World and the whole week ahead of that.
Yeah.
I didn't set a lineup for like a bunch of leagues.
Oh, dude.
I'm the worst guy ever. I felt so bad.
So you didn't lose because Todd Gurley didn't perform for you. You just lost because
There were leagues where I just didn't set a lineup. So terrible. Started injured players, guys that weren't going to play.
Oh man.
Where you knew it days ahead of time.
Yeah.
It was awful, and I had to explain that in every freaking league. Anyways, let's start off with some news.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler suffered a stinger in Week 14 against the Bengals, so his status for Thursday is not looking good.
He's out.
And Melvin Gordon isn't expected to play either.
He
think he's
could be playing.
Questionable, but I think if you've gone this long
Oh yeah.
and you're not practicing, I don't know if you can trust Melvin Gordon, even if he's active.
No.
So, hello, Justin Jackson.
Yeah. You're a few weeks early, but yeah.
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah.
You have no idea like how emotionally charged I am about Justin Jackson. I really want Justin Jackson just to blow up, have a great game, and they have 3 running backs and don't know what to do with them.
So then you can trade one of them?
They're not going because running backs are a dime a dozen. They're not going to.
You could because you own a lot of Justin Jackson.
No, it's not that. I just want Justin Jackson to succeed, and he's in such a bad spot now because Eckler looks good, Gordon looks great.
Eckler didn't look good last week.
Not last week, but still.
Yeah. Gordon and Eckler obviously are higher up on the depth chart than him.
I just want to be right about Justin Jackson, even if it's only for 1 week.
Okay. Okay. I think that's coming.
The promotion I seen for this game, which is a Thursday night game, was I guess the Chiefs defense has allowed the most points and the Chargers have put up the most points. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not. That's a dad stat.
Yeah, so I'm really, 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 really hoping Justin Jackson scores like 3 touchdowns. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Also, Spencer Ware is doubtful to play.
Yep.
So Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, and Char West are going to be your running backs. And Matt, can you trust any one of those guys? Williams, or West?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would just stay away.
How desperate do you have to be, and how low is the rest of your roster to have to even consider starting Williams, or West?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, especially at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there were guys on the waiver wire last week that you could have added that I would have, like Jeff Wilson or Curtis Samuel. Or no, it's not Curtis Samuel. Jalen Samuels. Like those guys that you could have added last week are still viable starting options this week. So, yeah, I'm not starting any of them. That backfield's scary. I did see, I think our old Brennan 316 mentioned something on Twitter that wouldn't it be kind of cool to see the Chiefs use Sammy Watkins the same way that the Patriots have used Cordero Patterson, like that running back, wide receiver out of the backfield, / kind of option. I'm like, that would be, I don't see it happening, but that could be
Yeah, he could be just as fancy irrelevant. That'd be great. Tyreek Hill is officially considered day-to-day, and Coach Andy Reid expects him to be active versus the Chargers Thursday. I don't know about you, but I find this interesting since Hill told NBC's Peter King that his heel was quote-unquote bad.
Yep.
Are you trusting Tyreek if he's active in such an important game for fantasy owners on a Thursday night, on a short week?
It really depends on who else you got. I mean, I think
but you can't possibly have somebody better than Tyreek Hill, or at least not more than one guy.
No, but if you've got Tyreek Hill or Amari Cooper
But you got to start multiple guys at that position. That's the thing.
If Amari Cooper was your wide receiver 3, which that's not crazy to think at the beginning of the season that he would have been your wide receiver 3.
Sure.
You can't tell me that you're not trusting Cooper over Hill.
Yeah, I guess. And
that might be an extreme example because Cooper's just been the hottest wide receiver since he ended up in Dallas. But I think it really depends on who you've got. I think a banged-up Tyreek Hill, for me, is better than Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Or a...
I think what it comes down to is Tyreek Hill has 45-point upside.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong starting Tyreek Hill. You can go wrong not starting Tyreek Hill.
Are you starting Tyreek Hill over Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
And that's hard for me to say.
I know that's why I went with that one.
For me personally, and I know this isn't a top secret strategy, but every league that I have Tyreek Hill in, I also have Patrick Mahomes. I'm not starting Mahomes I'm not starting Mahomes and then deciding to bench Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah,
you go down in that flame.
Right. That's what's gotten you this far.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another point. Yeah, and I think we've talked about that. That reminds me of last year. We said, you ride with the guys that have brought you here.
Yeah, if you're gonna lose, if you're gonna lose, I would rather lose with my guys that I've trusted.
NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports that Carson Wentz, apparently he's having back spasms.
He's out.
He's not expected to play Week 15 against the Rams.
He's out.
The 6-7 Eagles are 2 games back in their division after losing to Dallas last week.
Boom.
But they're still very alive in the wild card mix. Nick Foles will get the start if and when Wentz is ruled out. This is bad news for every Eagles offensive player, right?
I want to say yes. Like, smart money is to say absolutely. And it is. But you look at what Foles did last year. Like, this is about the time that Foles came in and got hot and carried this team to a Super Bowl. Carried them. More than I carry this show, Foles carried the Eagles to the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you remember, they won. So, yeah, I would downgrade everyone, but I wouldn't be surprised if Foles came in and just... I know he started this year at the beginning of the year and didn't look so hot, but he could have another magical run in him and be okay.
I don't know why he continued to cut me. Corey Clement of the Eagles sprained his knee this past weekend and landed on the IR. And while he hasn't been fantasy relevant, he has been taking a considerable number of snaps and touches.
Yeah.
Now, the Eagles went out and signed Boston Scott from the Saints.
Yeah.
Scott is a 6th-round rookie and has yet to record a carry in the NFL. Matt, is there any sort of value in Boston Scott?
If he's on waivers, you could pick him up. But at this point, you're not going to start him. Like in a dynasty league, sure, stash him. What the heck? Like cut some of your dead weight at the end of your bench. But you're not starting him. He's not going to have any value for you next week. And if you're starting him this week, you're probably not favored to win your matchup. So
Matt, rank the Eagles running backs the rest of the way. Wendell Smallwood.
Nope.
Adams.
Yep.
Scott.
Nope.
Sproles.
Adams. Probably Sproles, then Smallwood, and then Scott.
Did you know Smallwood is technically the starter there? He's done nothing.
He hasn't led the backfield in carries, so...
Nobody's done anything. Like, none of these running backs have been really fantasy relevant this entire season. That includes Ajayi. No? Go ahead.
Adams was like... He's getting RB2, like, amount of carries.
Sure.
Like,
carries.
that you want to see. Yeah.
Philly plays the Rams this week. Does that change your perception on starting Adams at all?
That defense is good.
Yeah. Are you going to start Adams? Or do you have to be desperate to consider it?
I think you have to be I think he's a flex play. I don't think he's an RB2.
Oops.
The last 2 contests before last week, he had 22 and 20 touches, I think. This week, he clearly had way less. But they were playing from behind. They were passing. So I like Adams. We've hit that on other episodes of the show. But
hit that. Todd Gurley let down a lot of people in Week 14.
Can I tell you that in every league I'm in, I don't own Todd Gurley. I don't think anywhere. I could not be happier that Todd Gurley let down people that really needed him.
Wow,
like to not see Todd Gurley in the fantasy playoffs is something that should excite a lot of owners. Most owners that are in the playoffs don't have to see him; they'll be happy. I ran into that buzzsaw last year. I'm so glad that he's not going to be the reason that I don't win. the
No,
leagues
it'll
that
just
I'm
be
in.
your incompetence. Ito Smith has outtouched Tevin Coleman 2 weeks in a row, 8-7 and 14-11 this last week.
Yeah.
Writing is on the wall for Coleman finding a new team in 2019.
Is it?
But Matt, if you had to pick right now, you want Ito Smith next season or Coleman with a mystery team?
Ito Smith. Because Coleman's not going to... Devonta Freeman has been hurt the last 2 years. He hasn't finished the season. B, Coleman didn't prove to anybody that he can lead a backfield. Like everyone said, he's going to go to Pittsburgh, be the Bell replacement, which Connor kind of killed that for him. I don't see him going anywhere and being a lead back. Like we talked about last offseason, Jerick McKinnon coming out, and Tevin Coleman was the obvious, like this year's Jerick McKinnon. I don't see that anymore. He didn't do anything to help his stock. I don't see an obvious opening for him. Maybe the Colts, but I don't think the Colts, he's not going to be a lead back anywhere.
Before you go too far into that rabbit hole, so you said that you don't see Tevin Coleman being a lead back anywhere.
Right.
So what makes you think that Ito Smith will be or could possibly
He's
be?
not going to be the lead back, but he's going to be that Tevin Coleman. He's already proven this year that he's better than Tevin Coleman, and next year he'll get all of that Tevin Coleman role.
I don't know if he's proven he's better than Tevin Coleman. He hasn't scored since week 10. Week 9, actually. I'm sorry.
They don't ask him to score. They get to the red zone, they throw to Hooper or Julio.
I think this is a situation that's still developing. I really do. I really, really, really do.
So are you taking Coleman next year then over Ito?
I think if you had to rank them, yeah, I think you have to rank Coleman ahead of Ito right now.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree
that's kind
with
of the question. If you're not going to rank him that way, why would you take Ito? Right? You see what I mean?
I do see what you're saying. Yeah, but that mystery team could be the Raiders.
So let's make this more complicated. Let's add in Devontae Freeman.
Who do I want of those three?
For 2019.
Freeman.
Knowing what you know right now.
Freeman. Easy.
I think the same thing. And then you sound a little like you haven't really come down one way or another what you're going to do if it's Ito Smith or Tevin Coleman. I know you said just a second ago you'd rather have Ito Smith.
I think based on what you have to pay to get them next year.
No. Let's say they're all three available right now. And you got Freeman, and then who's the second guy? I think it's Coleman, Matt.
Knowing that Ito's in Atlanta and not knowing where I'd still roll with Ito.
Ito has literally not had a great game.
No.
It's just Tevin Coleman's looked that bad.
Has anyone on the Falcons had a great game this year? What are they, 4 wins?
It's really one hell of I will tell you this much. Calvin Ridley looks great. Calvin Ridley looks really good.
4 wins.
No, I know. The most carries that he's had is 11. He's done that twice this year. This is Ito Smith, pronouns
catches
pal.
passes.
The most passes he's caught in a game has been 4. That was week 10, and that happened once. He's had about 4 games of 3 catches.
Yeah, he's the third down running back.
He's had 5 games of 1 or less.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So you like Coleman more?
I think undoubtedly I like Coleman more.
Okay.
I don't think it's close.
But if you have to pay a third to get Coleman.
No, that's not the question.
I know. I'm changing.
I'm not saying I'm shying away from Ito Smith.
Okay.
I am more than happy to have Ito Smith on my roster.
Okay.
Okay. I just if I had the chance to get any of them, it's definitely Freeman. Then it's Coleman, and then yeah, sure, I'll take Ito Smith too.
Okay.
Brian Hill's on that team. Who's Brian Hill? Exactly.
Isn't he like an R&B singer? Oh, that's Jonah Hill. That's who that is, right?
That's not an R&B singer.
Oh.
That's the guy that was fat and then he got skinny. No, I think he's fat again.
Yeah.
Who am I to talk?
Yeah.
49ers placed wide receiver Pierre Garçon on injured reserve. That ended his season. Coach Kyle Shanahan said Garçon needs a knee scope. The 32-year-old wide receiver has played 8 games each of his first 2 seasons in San Fran.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because he kind of became extremely injury prone if you look at it that way after not missing a single game in his last 4 years with the Redskins.
Yeah.
He went from 4 years of Mr. The constant variable, if you will.
Iron Man.
Yeah. And it's just so weird. Garçon probably played his last down as a Niner. Am I right?
I don't. They're paying him a lot of money. I remember they had to pay him a ton of money to get him. I don't know cap implications, but if you're just going based off talent and the other wide receivers they've got there, yeah, I would assume he's gone.
In 16 games with the team, he has 64 grabs, 786 yards, and 1 touchdown. Dante Pettis and Marquise Goodwin will be the starters the rest of the way.
Yeah, and George Kittle's there, and they'll have a high second-round draft pick, and this wide receiver class is loaded.
Do
Yeah.
you remember how low Marquise Goodwin was in rankings last year?
Yeah, he was 300. He was your breakout guy, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I mentioned it.
Yeah, he's up there now.
Unbelievable. To be a starter in the league, unbelievable.
Yeah, you got him at 300. Yeah. What do we
God,
got?
I'm good. God,
Oh.
I'm just, let's
You
see.
make one right call. We'll recap hot takes this week.
Yes,
see.
we will. Brandon Marshall,
Gone.
he's been waived.
He gone.
He's gone. The funny thing is they waived him to make room for tight end Eric Swoop.
Swope.
Is there any fancy relevance?
For Swope?
Yes.
No.
I don't think so either.
You're never going to start him.
No. Especially at this point. And Brandon Marshall,
Career?
can now we call it a career? Because I know I said that a few
We
weeks
said
ago.
that a couple
and then I was
times.
wrong.
And yeah.
He hasn't
I would
done
call it a
anything.
career, but yeah, I would call it a career.
Okay. Cool. Jerry Jones came out and said that David Irving, Tavon Austin, and Sean Lee are all expected back this week. Not sure what kind of impact that has on your fantasy team, but
No.
those are 3 key players for that team.
The only one that I think has any real impact on the team is Irving.
Sean Lee's really good when he's healthy.
Sean Lee lost his job.
Probably.
Sean Lee is not a starter for this team anymore.
And rightfully so. You can't be injured that much.
When he came out, that was his knock that he was injury prone. He came out, you had him in the second round, but I was wrong on Van Der Esch, and Jalen Smith looks really, really good. The Cowboys look like they have their middle linebackers set for the next 10, 12 years. Yes? No?
Yeah, they had that Van Der Esch.
Van Der
guy,
Esch
right?
looks like, I don't want to, this is a very, very strong comparison, but Urlacher.
Oh, jeez.
He's an Urlacher guy. That was the comp coming on the draft. That he's Urlacher.
Why don't we give it a year? Can we?
Have you
Can
seen
we give
him?
it a year
He
before
does
we
not
compare him
miss
to it?
open field tackles. He doesn't do it.
Most solid middle linebackers don't. Can we give it a year before we compare him to a Hall of Famer? Please,
dude.
can we do that?
Dude.
I hate comparisons.
I know you do.
that, because people get so jumpy with them.
Doesn't
It's-
Lamar Jackson look like Mike Vick?
Oh my goodness, no, no, he doesn't. He might eventually, but he doesn't right now.
You know who looks like Mike Vick?
Mike Vick.
Well, but in the league right now. Rookie quarterback. Russian like a
Don't say it.
Josh Allen.
Ah.
Dude.
Didn't he break one of his records?
He
or
has
something?
the most rushing yards in a 3-game span for any quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Gross. That's so
Yeah,
gross.
Josh Allen. You know what? They should have probably converted him to a tight end or wide receiver because he was so athletic. And like that's what we do with athletic quarterbacks, right?
Sure. Works out so well every time.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we might as well talk about him. Joe Flacco is going to be active this week,
All right.
but as the quarterback too.
On the bench.
Yep. This will be the first time Flacco will be active since Week 10. So, there you have it. Lamar Jackson is the starter in Baltimore.
Do you want to speculate where Flacco ends up next year?
I know you're going to do it, so I didn't bother writing it in. But with Flacco around, do we feel that L-Jack's, his leash, might be a tad shorter?
It's probably a little shorter, yeah. But they're 3-1 in the last 4 games with him. Like it's not like he hasn't looked great as a quarterback. I will give you that. But they've won. Like if the energy changed in the building, however you want to say it, they're winning games now, and you don't want to take that away. And because how bad does Flacco look if he comes back and they pull him for Jackson? If they pull Jackson, they can say he's a rookie, he's still learning. If they put Flacco back in and then pull him,
No, don't screw with the kid's confidence like that, man.
right.
Leave him in.
That's what I'm saying.
Joe Flacco's 33.
Joe Flacco will be a starting quarterback for somebody next year. Disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I just yikes.
I can
That's
name
whoever
2 or
he's the
3
quarterback
teams
of,
right now that he makes sense for.
Joe Flacco's wow, I'm looking at his numbers. My goodness.
He is a Super Bowl MVP?
He's had 2 games of over 300 yards, week 2 and week 4.
Okay.
So he was pretty bad before he got injured.
He's not a good fantasy quarterback.
The best touchdown to interception game he had was week 1. He had 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. He hasn't thrown 3 touchdowns all year. Other than that,
Do you want to speculate? I have 2 teams that jumped right off the top of my head.
I hate to do it, so I'm going to let you go ahead and take that.
I think the Jaguars make sense. They could trade for him. They've got the cap space. That's a team that has done well when they have decent quarterback play.
Joe Flacco's is just like Blake Bortles slightly upgraded.
Okay.
I said it.
That's fine.
I said it.
Here's option 2.
That's not a hot take, is it?
I think it is a hot take because Blake Bortles is bad.
Joe Flacco's not that good. I said it.
Okay. Second option, New York Giants. Could you imagine an offense with a quarterback that could throw the ball? He wouldn't have to be the stud.
I feel like New York market would eat Joe Flacco alive. I don't think that would be a move. That doesn't seem like a New York move. I think a New York move is to draft a rookie and have a bunch of hype.
You gonna let the rookie start?
Yeah, you do. Eventually, you do. I mean, you don't think New York? I don't think New York signs a guy. I think New York drafts a guy.
I think I'm not. No. They can draft a guy and then they can trade for Flacco. What's it cost to get Flacco?
Gross, Matt.
What do you mean like they did with Kurt Warner and Eli Manning?
If you're the Ravens, wouldn't you just like to have a veteran quarterback behind your rookie who doesn't really know how to throw yet?
You can get a veteran quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick will be available. Josh McCown will be available.
Yeah, that's what I want. My rookie to learn from Ryan 5-pick Fitzpatrick.
Dude, he also threw 5 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, I know. Well, so I'm looking at the contract here for Flacco. In 2019, he's scheduled to make $18.5 million. 2020, $20 million. 2021, $24 million.
Yeah, but I think there's an out after next year where they can cut him. And
I'm sure there's all sorts of outs, ins and outs, and lefts and rights.
Boom.
They'll figure out something, but still,
here's another one.
Hell of a predicament.
What about Tampa Bay? They got 2 wide receivers that can go deep.
And not a single quarterback.
Right, for Flacco. That's what I'm saying. Don't they make sense for Flacco? He can throw the deep ball.
For Flacco. That makes more sense.
He's going to get traded. I don't think he's going to get cut. And I would hope that Baltimore would say, hey, you were the quarterback when we won a Super Bowl. Where do you want to go? And give him some say in where he ends up.
What? Why is it that Flacco gets that Super Bowl MVP quarterback treatment from years ago?
Every quarterback gets that
treatment. Every time anybody wants to talk about how Flacco is dog poop, they always talk about, well, he was a Super Bowl MVP. Well, he went to a Super Bowl once. He won. Like, it doesn't matter. What have you done for me lately? The NFL's a what have you done for me lately?
It's about the fact that he was their quarterback for, 10 years?
He's not Eli Manning. He don't deserve it. Eli Manning deserves special treatment. Like, I don't think he deserves it, but I get it. I get why they try to treat Eli Manning with, kid gloves over there in New York.
Nick Folk got the special treatment this offseason, and he won Philadelphia Super Bowl. Why is that any different? Flacco has better stats than Foles. Sorry, not
I was going to say,
Foles.
What the hell did that kicker do?
Yeah, not kicker. No, Nick Folk. No,
Foles.
Yeah, yes,
football.
The quarterback.
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah. Nick Foles got special treatment. He said, I don't want to be traded. The Eagles said, we're not going to trade you. We'll keep you.
Yeah, that's what'd you do for me lately? When did Flacco win that Super Bowl? Excuse me. When did the Ravens win that Super Bowl?
2011?
The Baltimore Flaccos.
2011? 2012?
I don't.
Anyway, I think you show a guy that's been with you for years a little respect. That's all I'm saying. You say, hey, we've got 2 offers. They're both the same. You want to go to New York? You want to go to Tampa? And then you let Flacco pick. If their offers are similar, why would you not give him his choice? What does it matter?
They're not similar, though. You know how this works. It's the NFL. You take the better offer. Screw what the player wants. It doesn't matter.
Well, some people have a heart, Justin.
Team. You do what's better for the team. It's a business.
Some people have a heart, Justin.
We should probably talk about Deshaun Hamilton.
That's my boy.
Hamilton caught 7 of 9 targets for 47 yards and a touch in the Broncos' Week 14 loss to the 49ers.
The one league that I have him, I was on a bye, and I put him in my starting lineup just to say, hey, I trust this guy. I want to put him in my lineup, even though I had a bye.
Yep.
And it worked.
Great story, Matt. With Demarius gone.
You're laughing at your own jokes.
And Sanders out. Hamilton is going to get some real work the final 3 weeks of the season.
Slot machine.
Remember how everyone said Sutton and Hamilton were Thomas and Sanders' replacements?
Right, yep, and here we are.
Holy smokes.
Yep, it came a lot faster than we expected.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, okay. Like,
I was expecting you to kind of elaborate a little bit.
No, yeah, they're both starters. Like, they're good. We thought this would happen the beginning of next year. We happily get to see that at the end of this year. Good for them.
Well, Deshaun Hamilton was somebody that I think a lot of people kind of forgot about. It took this long. I don't think anybody really dropped him, but his value was low there for a while.
I got him. He was under 50%, I think, when I looked at Renegades last week.
What do you think the Broncos do at quarterback? Do you think they keep rolling with Keenum?
Yeah. He's not awful.
Yeah, he's just so Keenum-like. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's not awful. You rather have Keenum or Flacco? You're the Broncos fan.
Keenum.
Okay.
Keenum.
Okay.
At least we've seen Keenum be really, really good. More recent than Flacco.
You know what Keenum doesn't have that Flacco does?
What?
A Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
And the Broncos showed you can win a Super Bowl with a terrible quarterback.
And apparently so did the Baltimore Flaccos.
Yeah, so it's perfect. It's a perfect...
So I wanted to end it with this one. I got a fun dad stat for you.
All right.
Chris Godwin, you know that wide receiver over the Bucs that everybody likes?
Yeah. He's overhyped.
Caught 1 of 10 targets versus the Giants last week.
That's the one. That's like Laquan Treadwell numbers.
No,
but he wouldn't get 10 targets.
Treadwell doesn't get 10 targets. They know better.
Oh, because he can't catch.
Right, that's the joke. He's a poor wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's a bust.
Yeah.
He's an awful piece of Okay.
You got him. 102, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible.
Okay.
So that's it. Unless you got anything else you want to add.
Well, no, we're going to kind of expand this a little bit. What 102, 101, 102 wide receiver would you rather have? Corey Davis or Treadwell?
Davis.
You think? You don't think they're similar?
No, give me Davis.
Okay.
Treadwell's going to be on a different team after this year.
Right. And mystery team for Treadwell maybe as stock improves and like you just did with Coleman.
I just don't understand how you can go from such a high-powered offense,
that high-powered offense that did what against Seattle?
They're struggling lately, but they were what records were Thielen breaking for a while there? I just don't. No, okay. I don't know. Like I know he's not Thielen, I know he's not Diggs, and I get it. You're a wide receiver 3 with 2 amazing wide receivers ahead of you.
Yeah, top.
But it's like if they're successful, I expect you to have something, like some kind of production. It's like the first 2 years in the NFL, you didn't do nothing. Now you're at least catching the ball and you're getting more snaps, but you're still not doing anything.
Right.
And this was the year where they actually wanted to see what they had. And he's shown on national television he is not an NFL caliber wide receiver.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
Not a wide receiver 3. He is not a wide receiver 3.
That's a little harsh.
Dude, he looks so bad. He'll
go somewhere and rebound a little bit. I'm trying to think of teams that have really bad wide receivers. Washington.
No, and sometimes, Matt, I subscribe to that theory, too, with wide receivers more than I do running backs. I think wide receivers I think that skill set transfers nicely for the most part from team to team.
Yeah.
And with running back, I don't think it does. But, with wide receivers, though, you have to have talent to do it. Like Marquise Goodwin, not the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he's one of the fastest, and that's why it worked. He went to an offense that does that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They throw long bombs to guys, and Goodwin's just the best fast wide receiver they have.
Okay.
I don't know. With Treadwell, he's not anything. He doesn't do anything great.
No.
It's not going to work.
He's a first-round pick. Maybe he's Kelvin Benjamin. Maybe that's a comp.
Yeah, he'll spend another 5-6 years in the NFL, floating from team to team, where everybody in their mother's fantasy teams gets excited whenever he goes to a different roster,
right.
And they're always it ends up the same way. You're disappointed. Kelvin Benjamin, by the way, if you're investing in Kelvin Benjamin, by the way, you're an idiot. He is a waste.
We talked about him on last week's show.
Waste. I heard that.
Yeah.
Waste.
Yeah, he's not very talented.
Oh, yeah. So, we need to take a brief intermission.
Okay.
We're going to come back. We're going to do the Renshaw's Renegades.
Boom.
We're going to do the wager of the week, which
hey,
you're welcome.
Hey.
I'm back.
Hey.
And I'm here to make the people some money. We're going to talk about our hot takes, and we'll close out the show.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, the Renegades. Renshaw Renegades. Yeah.
All right, Renegades, back again. Last week, went with the two rookies for teams that they are finally getting starts. Jalen Samuels, last week was owned in 42% of leagues. Had a hot week. If he gets that same usage again, I expect a nice week out of him this week. 16 points. And Jeff Wilson taking over the San Francisco backfield. Last week finished with 10.5 points. So two solid guys you could pick up off your waivers for you. So I got a couple this week, Justin.
All right.
Somebody else is making their second appearance. Last week, Samuels made his second appearance, and he didn't disappoint. This week, Elijah McGuire is going to make his second appearance on the Renegades.
Show me the money!
He's the guy. So there's not much to like out there that I've seen. I looked through a lot of names, but I think McGuire's the best of the bunch. Crow is questionable. McGuire filled in last week, 60 yards on a touchdown, 17 carries. Trent Cannon, he outproduced him, outsnapped him. So I think McGuire would be the better play. Now, if Crow sits, McGuire's still flex, but he's the highest upside guy in that backfield. Going to change course. You're going to go to wide receiver. I will admit this guy did not have a decent week last week, but he had 2 previous weeks. Chris Conley, owned in 40% of leagues. Against the Ravens, he got 3 targets. I know that's bad, but he'll get an opportunity to redeem himself on Thursday. Sammy Watkins is out. Tyreek Hill's banged up. The 2 games previous to the last week when he had 15 targets, and he scored 3 touchdowns in those 2 games. So I like Conley. He's a cheap guy you can get off your waiver, 40% of the leagues. Plug and play if you're desperate, if you need a guy for a flex spot, he's the guy that I would go with.
Very nice. Very nice.
So, yeah. I've rostered Conley where I can find him, so.
Don't try to trick me, Gypsy. Borat, ever see it?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it.
Oh, my goodness. So good.
You'll never get this. You'll never get this. Yes, I've
There's
seen
a bunch of
Borat.
other lines I want to say, but I just can't get in there.
Yeah.
Okay, wager of the week.
It's the Dynasty Dad's Wager of the Week.
All right, Matt. I'm going to be honest with you. No idea what my record is. I think I'm 9-3, maybe 9-4. Either way, I know I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up. I'm definitely over 500
Are you
by
up
a lot.
like 4 units? Is that how you like qualify your bets?
Easy with the lingo, Matt. This is a Dynasty
Quote fingers here?
podcast, not a betting podcast. That's coming soon. This week, the New York Giants are going to kick the Titans in the teeth to remind them that they are indeed the Tennessee Titans. The Titans embarrassed and destroyed a battered, beat, disgusting, vile, putrid Jaguars team last week. Whoop-de-doo. They did so on the back of Derrick Henry enjoying the time of his life. The week before, they beat a team almost as bad, the New York Jets. This line is off, and it's because of these 2 recent games, in my humble opinion. Now, you simpletons may be quick to use my own argument against me by saying the Giants just destroyed an awful Redskins team, and you're right. But before that, they beat the Bears. Before that, they stuck with the Eagles. And before that, they beat the Bucks. Oh, and before that, they beat the Niners. Say what you want about the Giants, but they're hot right now. And somehow, despite being 5-8, are mathematically still in the hunt for the playoffs. And what more of an Eli Manning thing to do than to finish the season hot and make the Giants consider keeping him around for yet another season? Oh, and the Giants' defense is woke, by the way. Forced 3 turnovers in each of its past 2 games. The Titans have turned the ball over at least once a game since Week 10. Feeling bold this week, so here are some more predictions. Mariota struggles, throws a minimum of 2 interceptions.
Whoa.
Henry rushes less than 50 yards.
Whoa.
And I consider Barkley a lock for 100 yards from scrimmage plus a score.
That's not that big of a reach.
Nope. Giants crush the Titans and sail past the 2.5 line in New York. Lock it in, my friend. Lock it in.
Does that change if Odell doesn't play?
Odell's going to play.
But if he doesn't play?
Doesn't matter. He's going to play. And no, it doesn't really change it because he's still a wide receiver.
All right. What's that betting podcast we're coming out with?
Well, I'll talk to you about it off the air. We got plenty to talk about.
Grandpa's Gambling.
Yes. Oh, what was it? Yeah, Grandpa's Gambling works. Yeah, Dynasty Dads, Grandpa's Gambling. Yep.
The Bet Brothers.
Hey.
That's what
It's
I
like
do.
Eskimo Brothers. Wait. Okay, so we had, speaking of Eskimos, we had some hot takes
Wow.
before the season even started. We're going off track. We started the season with some hot takes, and some of them turned out well.
Yeah. Most of mine.
Some not so much.
Most of yours.
Hello, Des Bryant. Let's go ahead and recap. Let's start with you this week.
All right.
You said that Josh Gordon finishes better than Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
That wasn't a hot take, as really, because their
ADPs were
ADP was relatively close.
Yep.
But you're a big Gordon believer.
I am.
I'm a huge
Jarvis
Landry
guy.
fan.
Yep.
Right now, Gordon is wide receiver 35 with 135 points in ESPN standard PPR leagues.
Okay.
Jarvis is wide receiver 20 with 177.
Okay. I think their ADP was like 30, 31, 31, 32.
Very, very, very close.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, one of these guys has Tom Brady and the greatest head coach of all time, and the other has a rookie Baker Mayfield.
Right. And the other has Gronk and Edelman and Sony Michel.
So guys that should be distracting.
Yeah, that take other looks away from Gordon.
All I'm saying is that, like, Josh Gordon's not a bad player. This is actually the best situation he's ever been in, and he's doing really well with it. I'm not saying he's doing bad. He's absolutely fantasy relevant at this point.
Thank you.
But he's not as good as Jarvis Landry.
I feel like Landry's had like 3 big games, and everything else has just kind of been a clunker. Like, he had 2 weeks of less than 10 points in a row.
Well, Matt, thank you to the internet.
Yeah, you gonna look this up?
I am going to look this up, because
Okay.
why not?
Thought you'd be prepared.
Whenever you mention Jarvis Landry, it always seems to
you get fired up.
he gets pulled up here.
You
Let's
get fired up.
see. Yeah, you're fairly close. I mean,
you.
he's had over 100 yards 3 times this year.
Okay.
97 yards in another game.
Okay.
He's only had only 3 touchdowns
He's had a few
and
clunkers.
1 rush touchdown.
Yeah.
And yet he's still better than Josh Gordon. It's amazing. It's just uncanny, really.
He's had 5 games with less than 5 receptions. Yeah, and he's the focal point of that offense.
I would agree with that. I would
Okay,
agree with that
so
completely. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he's utilized the right way, but
well, now we're gonna blame coaching
No,
staff.
I'm not blaming coaching staff.
Okay.
But you got to admit, there's a big difference between the New England Patriots coaching staff and the Cleveland Browns. That is like polar opposites.
That's they're gonna have their 4th head coach in 3 years. That might be backwards. 3rd head coach in 4 years. However you want to say it.
If Jarvis Landry is a Patriot, I'm telling you, I think
For the guy that hates hypotheticals, you're throwing one out here.
he's just that good.
Oh yeah.
He's just that good. And Josh Gordon only has 2 games of 100 yards.
If
by the
Jarvis
way.
Landry was with the Patriots,
Josh Gordon has 4 touchdowns, which is the same amount of total touchdowns
Right.
as Landry, and only 2 100-yard games. They're both very, very close.
yeah.
Very close.
If Jarvis Landry was on the Patriots, his name would be Julian Edelman.
No, stop it. Those are 2 very different players.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Edelman's an amazing route runner. That's his job. Run great routes,
What was
ins
it?
and outs.
What has Jarvis done this
Jarvis
year?
is a great
slot.
Jarvis is more than just a great route
I'm
runner.
gonna run a slant. Give me the ball. I'm gonna run a slant. Give me the ball again. Maybe here I'll run a fly and someone will throw me the ball.
I just don't understand how you watch both of those guys play, and you undoubtedly can say that Gordon is better than Jarvis. Makes no sense to me.
Okay.
They have comparable numbers, and one is in a much better situation than the other.
One is the focal point of an offense, and one is not.
Maybe that's because the coaching staff knows that Josh Gordon's not that good. He can't be a focal point
Maybe
of an offense.
that terrible Browns offensive coaching staff is trying to make someone a focal point of an offense that can't do it.
Possibly. That's just as possible.
Okay.
It's not true, but
Okay.
you said that Deion Lewis is going to finish higher than Derrick
Yes.
Henry.
Oh,
Holy
man.
smokes. And we were very confident in this
Yeah,
one
we
for
were.
weeks. Deion Lewis was the running back 31. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
He was
that's-
running back 31.
That's nuts to me.
Derrick Henry was running back 17.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
thanks to a ridiculous 4-touchdown game this week, Derrick Henry now leads Lewis by less than 1 point.
Yeah.
Deion Lewis hasn't surpassed 100 yards from scrimmage in a game since week 10.
Yeah.
Awful second half of the season
Yeah,
for
for
him.
Lewis, yeah.
Awful.
Like, can we talk about Derrick Henry? Like, I know we're a
Sure.
week late. What kind of dude subs himself out before getting the 5th touchdown for the NFL record.
Derrick Henry is garbage.
What are you doing?
The Jags defense is worse.
You could have had an NFL record, and you're like, nah, I don't want it. Let Dion Lewis go out there, rush 2 times, get stuffed at the line twice, and then I'll come in.
Derrick Henry is a slightly better version of Lindale White. Yeah. And Lindale White was nothing more than a power back.
Was good with Chris Johnson. That was a good compliment.
He needed Chris Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
That was very obvious.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry needs defenders that just fall down in front of him.
So basically, we've got 2 weeks versus Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis for this hot take to pan out. I don't feel as confident in it as I did 2 weeks ago.
No, because if you're the Titans, you roll Henry now.
Oh yeah, you have no reason not to.
Yeah, but still, they're going to be very disappointed when they find out that defenses aren't the same as the Jags. That AJ Boye or whatever the hell his name is,
The one that caught a stiff arm?
Dude, come
He ate it.
You are an NFL caliber defensive back, and I know he has weight on you, and I know he had momentum. What the heck are you doing trying to go at his chest for that tackle?
I don't know. That's what we see in the NFL now. All these go for the legs. I don't know if you know this. You can't run if your legs are wrapped up.
Dude, and you had him close to the sideline too. You could have. Oh my God, I seen that one. That was like the only NFL play I got to watch when I was in Disney.
That's because it was all over. They probably put it on a big screen in the Disney park.
I got to watch it live because we got to the hotel and it was just like, oh, cool, football's on. I'm gonna check this out for a second. Awful. It made me sick. Ruined my trip.
That ruined your trip.
Man, like, why are you making Derrick Henry look good?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You sent that in the group chat. Yeah, you said you called out Boye.
So, next one. You said Lamar Miller, who was at the time being drafted as RB33.
Yeah.
You say he's going to finish as an RB2 or better. That's top 24, man.
Yep.
Miller is currently RB19.
Yep.
Since the Week 10 bye, 4 straight games of double digits from Lamar Miller.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Yeah.
That's a guy that you can be starting right now and riding into the sunset.
Be okay.
Yep.
You're RB2.
Absolutely. You said Anthony Miller was going to finish as the rookie wide receiver 1 and as a top 30 wide receiver option.
Yes.
Currently, Anthony Miller is overall wide receiver 57. He's looking better. He's had moments of brilliance.
Yep.
But he's wide receiver 57 with 107 points on the year.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley is the rookie wide receiver 1 with 165, so he's not going to catch up.
No.
DJ Moore is second in rookie wide receivers with 137, which I thought was kind of surprising.
Yeah. So he's 30 points behind the second guy.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, at this point in the season. At this point in the season, yeah, that's a lot. But I'm curious where Ridley and Moore rank overall. I don't know. That's not here. I don't have it. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I think Miller's talented. He's a guy that I believe in long term, and I think he's in a good situation with a smart, offensive-minded head coach. He's kind of in a funny situation in dynasty formats because he's just good enough to where if you have him, you're kind of holding. You're not really trading him away. Right. But you're not going to start him. Yeah, you can't start him either. So he's just kind of sitting there. He's a good taxi squad guy. Yeah. I have him and Christian Kirk on like a ton of taxi squads, which is just fine with me. Yeah. So Rex Burkhead finishes as New England's RB1. We took this one out. And then I put it back in because he came back. Oh, okay. You said Rex Burkhead was going to finish as New England's RB1, and yeah. He missed 8 games due to injury. Yeah. Let's say that. Yeah. But he trails White, Sony, and Devlin. Yeah, because he missed 8 games. Yeah. Still. Yeah. This one isn't as crazy as you thought it would be. No, I think it is. You had Joe Mixon finishes outside the top 20. Yeah. He's RB13. Yeah, but that Marvin Lewis stat, he's 13, so he's technically not an RB1 right now. Marvin Lewis has only had 4 running back ones in his 15-year coaching career. Yeah, but you said top 20. I did, yeah, and he's 13. He was being drafted, what, as RB5, 6? Very high. Yeah. Very high. So... in dynasty formats, and if you had a dynasty startup where you draft him as RB5 and you got an RB13 out of him, I think you're okay. Your first year with the guy, I think you're okay. Now, on to me. Yeah, these are fun. I said Allen Hurns finishes 3rd or worse in PPR fantasy points for the Cowboys wide receivers. Good call. Let's see. I want to say his ADP. So at the time, his average draft position was 11th round, 11th pick. Yeah. Of that group, so like 150. Of the range. Cowboys group at the time, that's minus Amari, Cooper. Yeah.
Gallup was the only guy being drafted higher at 10:05.
Yep.
Hearns is currently wide receiver 4 of the Cowboys wideouts. Amari, Beasley, and Gallup all lead by a minimum of 20 points.
Cool.
Then I also said that Des Bryant scores 10 touchdowns. My goodness. I followed that up with Laquan Treadwell outscores Will Fuller in PPR leagues. At the time, Fuller was being drafted late in the 5th of Dynasty startups, and Treadwell is much, 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 much later at that time.
Yeah.
Treadwell is currently wide receiver 87. Despite being injured since week 8, Fuller is wide receiver 59. He's had since week 8 of going against zero production, and he's currently trailing by 30 wide receivers.
Oh, that's funny.
It's awful. That's how bad Laquan Treadwell is. He can't beat a guy that hasn't been on the field since week 8.
That's funny.
I said Jameis Winston finishes the season as QB1.
Yep.
That's top 12.
And I was bold at the time because he took that 2-game suspension.
Yep, he had that suspension for the first 3 games, actually.
3 games, sorry.
His ADP at the time was the 13th round and the 22nd quarterback.
Okay.
Winston has somehow climbed to QB 26.
Yeah.
But QB 12 is Tom Brady with 237. Winston has 146 on the year.
Not getting there.
No, he's not going to get there. But the fact that he's actually had some relevant games.
If you've looked at the quarterbacks that the Bucs have had, like whether it's Fitzpatrick or Winston, they're putting up solid numbers. Like they're streamable options.
Yeah. You got to be happy if you're a Mike Evans guy.
Oh yeah, dude came back. He won our I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed award
The daddies?
last year.
That's
so
right. That's
I don't
right.
think he's a qualifier for this year's awards.
No, we got to make some rules. I said Austin Hooper finishes the season top 6 at his position. 3rd year in the NFL that is this year.
Yep.
Hooper is currently tight end 6.
Hey-o, look at that.
He has a 20-point lead over tight end 7, which is Gronkowski. But he's trailing tight end 5, which is Jared Cook, by 35 points.
Yeah.
So he's kind of stuck there. Like I don't see him really going higher than tight end 6.
Gronk had a hot week last week. No, I don't see him going higher than 6. I could see Gronk overtaking him, but
all I know is if Gronk was a defender, I wouldn't trust him.
no, he's definitely not a safety.
Alex Collins vastly outplays his ADP, top 12 running back. Collins is currently RB37 despite not playing a game since week 11.
Yeah.
And he won't for the remainder of the season because he's on the IR.
Yep.
So in 10 games, Collins topped double digits in 5 performances.
Cool.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, but that says more about the Ravens running back than Collins.
I think I mentioned on the show that I think Collins lost his job.
Oh, yeah.
And I really don't know if I think I might have been too quick.
Gus Bus.
I like Gus Edwards a lot. I do. I just, I feel like they're not going to just look at what they did with Buck Allen, like how long they're, you know what, he's still around.
But you think Collins, I don't even think Collins is coming back. Isn't he a free agent this year?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't really care. I don't know if you can trust any, there's so few running backs in the NFL right now that you can trust.
You know who the best running back in Baltimore is?
I'd say Gus Edwards, but I think you have some kind of sneaky, Lamar
Jackson.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, they're running design run plays for the guy. We're in a very bad part of town. Do you hear all the sirens? Alex Collins is a free agent at the end of this season. So he will be elsewhere next year.
Dime a dozen, man. Dime a dozen.
Still, how old is Alex Collins right now?
25.
24.
Hey.
Still young.
Yeah. He has 5 more years left in him.
How many years has he been an Irish dancer?
24.
Oh, that's your boy.
I do like Collins quite a bit. I think he has a nice game. I don't think he's ever going to be a top 5, top 6 running back in the NFL, but I do think he's a nice player to have.
No.
He's probably better in the real NFL than fantasy, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Sweet.
Sweet.
How's it feel to get back in the saddle?
I've been so busy.
That's a good problem to have, right?
It is. I shouldn't complain. I've been running around all day today,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Welcome back to the real world.
I know. I told Emily, like, when we got back, I was like, gosh, dang it. This is like, now I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation.
You can do that, You're in a career where you could take a day or two off, can't
Not
you?
when people need you.
No.
Not when people need you.
Yeah.
The first day I came back, I had a listing. I had to get all that stuff set up. It's not like you just click a couple buttons and boom, the thing's on the internet. You got to get stuff signed up. You got to put the signs up. You got to get the box set up. You got to get the showing server set up. Blah, 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 advertising, yada yada yada.
Right.
But it's like so that my very first day back, I was already working.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then Monday came. Well, then I had other stuff come up. I got a couple other clients I picked up this week from referrals, which I'm very thankful for.
I was just saying, man, you sound like you're
I'm
complaining
so
about
thankful for it.
being
really
busy and working.
My wife says the same thing. I was complaining, and she's like, "Don't you remember where you were last year in December?"
Yeah.
Like I did literally 0 transactions December of last year,
Wow.
and it's like this December has been nuts.
Yeah. Hear that, kids? Lots of Christmas presents.
Yeah. No. You got a trip to Disney World out of it because Dad's been grinding all year. Oh man.
Cool.
Just oh yeah. Well, Matt, that's the hour mark.
That's the show.
That's the show.
All right.
Do we got anything planned for next week? Or we're just doing the same old, same old.
We'll do a little bit of a. We've got the daddies coming up. We're gonna wait until after.
Are we gonna wait until the regular season's over or the NFL season's
So
over?
last year when we did it, we had we ran the daddies through January, and at the end of January we had our daddies awards show.
So that'd be end of the regular season.
End of the regular. Well, that would be end of the. Like it was in the playoffs when we were doing it.
Yeah, because the Super Bowl is usually February.
Yeah.
First weekend.
Yeah. So I think we planned it to where the daddies awards was the same weekend as that boring thing they call the Pro Bowl.
Oh God. Yeah.
So,
let's do that again.
Yeah. So it kind of gives people something to look forward to.
Yeah. You and I need to talk off the air about what we're going to do with the show and where we're going to go.
No. I don't know if you know this, when you were off last week, I planned it all because that's what I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to show you how wrong everything was.
New awards. We got a couple new awards.
I can't wait.
So
Don't tell everybody.
yeah, no. Come on, man. I know how to tease.
But when you, if you want to get prepared for voting on the Daddies, or if you want to take a look at what happened last year at the Daddies, all you got to do is search on Twitter for @DynastyDads, and then I think we were #Daddies, weren't we?
I don't think we had a hashtag. You can just search Dynasty Dad Daddies and it popped up though.
There you go. That's all you got to do. So find us on Twitter. We're @DynastyDads. We're also on Facebook @DynastyDads, and you guessed it, we're on iTunes
Dynasty
Dads. Until next week, good luck, and keep winning.
God bless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Dynasty Dads podcast. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow us on Twitter @DynastyDads. Visit us at our website, dynastydads.com, for articles, news, and notes, Dynasty Dads gear, and more.